Hi guys, welcome back to the Mesh. Today I have somebody very special and dear to me. Somebody that you guys barely know exists actually. You guys, every time I bring him up in a video or in a conversation, like, you have a brother? You only ever see my sisters. This is Kaleb Guenther, my brother, my first ever best friend in America. I call him Kaleb because when I first met him in the orphanage, I could not pronounce the name Kaleb, so we call Kaleb. Right now he's on the podcast as Kaleb. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Mesh. How you doing? Now, my brother is a man that does a lot. He's always moving around all the time. Even when he's resting, he looks like he's moving too fast. He knows how to do a million things. Editor, sing, guitarist. Like, what else? What can we put into the pot?
I mean, I do everything technical when it comes to things like this. I've done camera work, I've done video work, I've done audio, I've done stage design, I've done production, I've done stage management, I've done everything from musicals to concerts to worship events to outdoor events to anything and everything that has to do with any sort of live production.
It is insane. He's like IT if they give him like the serum they give Captain America. You know what I'm saying? It's like IT with the Iron Man suit. Like for a while he edited a lot of my vlogs when we first started out. He taught me how to do a lot of technical things, a lot of stuff that I know that I do in my videos. I learned from him actually.
And that was a lot of us learning together too, though, because when we started, it was a lot of me figuring out what it was to do a podcast and also what it looked like to do a vlog, because you and I were looking at so many different people and how they did it and how we wanted to change what you wanted it to be like and how we've grown into what it is.
Yeah, because
it's a lot of fun.
I did that we're brothers and we have two different ideas about how things should go. I'm very much a B-type person. He's very much an A-type, very on point, very like, this is the way it should be good. This is the right way to do it. He's very stubborn. My family's stubborn. You're going to learn that in the series as we go on. Like, he has more tools than emotions. Like, I'm telling you, he has a thing for it. In my room right now, my closet, keep in mind, he used to live in the same room as me. Now he stays in Tennessee with his wife. And there's a bunch of his stuff still in my room, a bunch of gadgets. Like, I think there's a bunch of like sound mixers. There's that piano that you never get anything with.
Yeah, that I have a random just sound machine piano in there that I have not touched since I've gotten it. I used it for some things when I first got it. And then it's too expensive. Yeah. It's too expensive to give away.
Yeah, we have it.
And it's too nice to sell.
I don't think I would even know.
So it's currently living in your room.
It is. I wouldn't even know who to give it to. I'm like, what can I do? What can I do with this guitar? I don't know how to play the guitar. I don't know how to play with no piano. I don't know how to work no sound mixer. I have one, like a $30 one. It broke because I was pressing the buttons too hard.
Of course you were pressing the buttons too hard. Of course you were pressing the buttons too hard.
Okay, so one fact, like I said, when I got to America, me and my brother were not the bestest of friends. We were besties in Haiti when he would visit. He'd be like, I only see you every few months. Oh my God, I love you. But when I started living with him, there was a lot of...
It was heated.
It was heated arguments every day. So how many times did I get shot by a BB gun or like a Nerf gun?
It wasn't a BB gun. It was an airsoft gun. It was
airsoft, so that's better than the BB gun.
Yes, because airsoft is plastic bullets. BB gun was the metal bullets. I knew not to hit you with the metal bullets. Plastic one, however, was free game. As long as I gave you the eye protection, which you would go like, oh, why am I wearing this? Pop, 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 and we're good. And I'm happier.
Okay, so... they still felt the same when they hit. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. When it hit my body when I was crying, it never felt like it was airsoft or BB.
I'll tell you what,
it just felt like pain.
But it felt so good when I got that aggression out. When I got that aggression out,
it's annoying growing up.
It's really
a bundle of energy.
Hey, you were just an itsy bit. Do you want to try again?
I really love nonchalant dreadhead for real. Like, dear really didn't know how to handle me.
Okay, honestly though. Yeah, you were annoying. But I also had no idea, like, how to live with another person. Because my whole life up to that point, I was in 6th grade when you got here. And up to that point, I was the only guy. I didn't have to share any of my toys. I had nothing that I had to, like, deal with in that sense. And so when you came home, it was a complete life shift as it was for you. And so both of us going from you being in a place where you were sharing everything, that was what it was. For me, not sharing anything. I mean, you and I were a totally different perspectives, trying to blend together, to figure out how to live together.
Oh, by the way, also, two different people from two different countries.
That adds another level of complexity.
That's a whole level of complexity.
So those first couple of years were rough. We did not like each other.
We did not like each other.
We did not like each other.
Like, it was the first 2 years.
I think it was easily the first
2 years until we moved here, actually. And then that's when we started blossoming. Actually, fun story. This is how I remember us. We bonded. The biggest bonding moment we had,
Was it moving?
it was not the movie, it was we were in the room. We were listening to Hamilton.
Was it Hamilton?
We were listening to Hamilton. We were listening to Hamilton, the whole album, like on repeat. And then at some point, one of us said the cuss word. I'm like, he said the cuss word. I'm like, and then I said it. I'm like, and then we like dapped up each other like this. Like, we dapped up like this. I'm like, and then from that day, we started like, we never had another argument like that again. Like, no more snitching, no more, none of that.
Yeah, that
like,
same week, I think I remember walking into our room because we only had the place we moved into first, one bathroom. So I was waiting for my turn to take a shower. And so I walked into our room and you were just chilling on your bed, like reading a book or on your iPad or something. Yeah. And I just walked in and goes, "What's up?" And it was just like, clicked.
Like,
that's all it was.
It's just like everything. It's like, man, we really don't gotta be hating each other. Like, you really stuck in my life forever. Like, it would really be a pain if we just hated each other.
Granted, we had to reenact WWE moves for 2 years.
Oh my God.
I have been suplexed off of the top of a bunk bed more times than I wish to admit.
Oh my God, I forgot about that because I remember
multiple times.
Oh my God, though, there was a lot of crying on both sides growing up.
But the thing is I don't think our parents know we did that to each other. Because when one did it to the other one did it to the other, and we both just went, "Shut up, shut up, shut up."
Oh yeah, I'm gonna come here and they whoop us both because I don't know because they would do that.
They would whip us both.
They would whoop us both. They would find a reason to whoop us
both of us. That was so good for us, though.
It was really good. It was great buddy moment. Oh my gosh, but it was great.
Great.
Okay, so one of the first questions I have is like, what's the main character moment from our childhood? Like what's your main character moment?
That's always been your job.
No, I feel like for you, it would be when you got to hang out with your friends the first time from SMA, like when you were let on your own to go be with your friends. Because I remember growing up, we were very sheltered. Like when you got to build that community and you like your RTC and all of that, you was what were you? Like you were the high.
When I graduated high school, I graduated as a lieutenant colonel in the junior ROTC here at school. And so I spent a lot of years learning how to lead people, specifically in JROTC. But I also had the opportunity to go to like camps and stuff. I would go and teach camps as a sophomore, junior in high school, which was a lot of fun. Man, I think main character moments would be like baseball,
football. Because I was 4 years of football too.
4 years of football.
Actually, really 5 because you started middle school. You guys were the first ever
8th grade football
team here.
Yeah, I started that. But I didn't. We didn't have an actual team.
Yeah,
we just practiced with.
I think we one game.
We did a scrimmage.
Yeah,
but it was an internal scrimmage.
Yeah.
So 4 years of football, 4 years of baseball, ended as a team captain of baseball my senior year, which was a lot of fun. I think my main character moments were from those of like sitting the team down after a game and coach saying, "Kaleb, take it." And I would be the one that get up and I would enact discipline. I was the one setting the plays. I was the one, calling the shots.
He was on the sideline with the clipboard, I'm pretty sure.
I was. Whenever I couldn't play, there was a couple of games that not with
clipboard. I'm like,
not with. I could play. I was dressed out for the game, but I didn't have a spot because we had somebody else in my positions that game. So I was helping watch and call defense calls, and so because I just wasn't going to get in the game that game, so I was next to our defensive coordinator the whole time, and I was coaching our defensive line backs, and I was also calling secondary calls. I could see it. It clicked in my mind, and I also knew the opposing team really, really well, and we did good that game.
Yeah, also, he forgot to mention that he led worship at almost every point in my life up till he moved. Because we were youth group, you led worship there.
I started our youth group worship team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. He built that. Also, you did some worship at the school too.
I did. That. I helped start some of the stuff here as well with that. Yeah.
He played the guitar, so that got him a lot of attention with the girls. Kaleb was never like about girls do, but like a lot of girls were into him. He was very much recluse, very much get it done type of dude. But I was really impressed. Like he was just doing a million things. All RTC 4 years, football 4 years, leading worship. He's just like he's been the man. Okay, so now we're gonna enter to our hot seat Q&A.
Hit me with it.
There's gonna be some serious unhinged, Let's go. Okay, first question. What's the weirdest thing you've had to fix doing a live event?
Weirdest thing having to fix during a live event would probably be running on stage and hot swapping an in-ear pack. Had to do that multiple times. So with bands nowadays, everybody wears special headphones called in-ear monitors. And they're very important because that's how the artist hears themselves. That's how they hear the rest of the band. That's how they hear, if there's a metronome running, that's how they hear all of that stuff. So it's really important. Yeah. And I had an artist whose died entirely. And I ran out on stage, hot swapped it with click, click while they were still wearing it, new batteries, closed it up, plugged it back in, turned it back on, and got off stage before anything else happened.
For context, can you tell them what you do, like what you did the past few weeks, 2 months, like what you've been doing? They can really get why I asked this question.
I've got to go back to college. So during college, I continued to lead worship at my university, but I was a production engineer in college, which meant that I did anything and everything for our live events on this. So this was, worship events, 3-day worship events. This was special conferences. This was our major donor conferences, or we had a big speaker would come out. I would be part of that team that designed, built, executed, and cleaned everything. So everything from speakers to cables to sound mixers to, cameras, to all that. And so what it takes to run an event like that is a lot of different things, and I learned every single one. So right out of college, I went and worked at a summer camp for a couple of months and got the feeling that we needed to move. My wife and I needed to move. So we moved just on a complete whim to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
I mean, it was crazy. It was like a 4-week process from the day we decided to get to Nashville to the day we signed a lease. And then we moved in a couple of weeks after that. And so we moved out there about 11 months ago now. So we moved out there in August, and I started working at a warehouse in town. And the warehouse provides lights, staging, and audio equipment for major tours. Like one of the big ones that we worked on was the Casey Musgraves Steeple Wells tour. I helped build all that out. The Little Big Town Christmas tour, we helped build out all that stuff. We helped build out F1 when it went to Vegas. Formula One, when it went to Vegas, rented out 1,500 fixtures from our company, and I built out a lot of that with him as well. So I've gotten to have my hands on some cool things. And so it's warehouse stuff. I mean, it's lifting heavy things, it's cleaning stuff, it's work, and that was great. I got to learn a lot of really good things about how to fix stuff. But I decided to walk away beginning of this year and got picked up on a tour, a small tour country artist who is awesome. The whole team is incredible. And we got to open up for some really, really big names. We spent a couple of weeks with Zach Top, spent a couple of weeks with just individual. We hopped around to we've probably done 20 festivals across the US. And then we spent a couple weekends with Riley Green as well, that was a great crew. And now I've stepped away from being on the road. Time wise, it's too far. It's too long to be away from home for me. I'm a homebody, if you haven't picked that up. And I work at Church of the City in Franklin, Tennessee as a production engineer, which just means that I get things done on a weekly basis. That's everything. So one of the things that I had to do, the craziest thing during a show, was switching out a in-ear pack.
Well, there you go, for context. Okay, next question. Okay, I want to hear this because I know growing up. Okay, have you ever faked like something was working when it totally wasn't? Because I know there was some walkie-talkies that wasn't working when we were growing up, and yet
every day,
I want to hear this.
Every day I'm faking something because it's not working. Also on the road, I had my front of house console. So the thing that actually makes a sound that the people hear. I plugged it in before the show. I mean, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm exhausted. Only 1 cup of coffee. Hadn't had a shower yet. And I go to plug it in, and all the lights turn on, and it's doing all the little things, and the screen never turns on. I go, the screen never turns on. And I go, that's not good. And so I proceed to, I do all the things. I restart it. I unplug it, plug it back in. I hit buttons, whatever. Nothing. No screen. So I have a thing where I can test to make sure audio is coming out of it. So I run a quick test, and the guy that's in charge of things can see the stuff coming out because it goes to him, and then he sends it to the speakers. He's like, no, I mean, I hear it, so I think everything's working. And I go, but I don't see anything. He goes, I don't know, dog. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. So I proceeded to take it out of its case, spend an hour with a screwdriver, taking it apart. And this is in the middle of Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm in the middle of nowhere. There is not a store.
So this was on your tour?
This is on tour. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have a screwdriver, and I'm at our little front of house circle, and I'm sitting there with 2 other sound engineers who are highly respected. They are incredible sound engineers, and they're standing over the thing going, what are you gonna do, dude? How are you gonna do that? What are you gonna do about that? And I'm like, I don't know. Couldn't fix it. Couldn't do anything about it. I ended up plugging my computer into it, and using network, I opened up the computer edit software of the console to see what was supposed to be on my screen. Screen never turned on. The screen never worked. I never got a full system check.
Never got a full system check. It's
My
crazy.
artist never found out. My band never found out. Management never found out. The only people that found out until after the show was the people we rented the things from. That's it.
Hey, if it worked,
it worked.
If it worked, it worked. Okay, that's all that matters. Okay, next one. Rate these in order: cable management, team drama, someone tripping on stage.
In order of best to worst?
Yes.
Tripping on stage is probably my favorite thing ever to watch. I don't know why, but when I can see somebody who I think is a rock star kind of like fall or look human, I love it.
Really much like Zach Top just falls and trips on the stage.
Unfortunately,
I would be laughing.
Doesn't fall. Yes, his bass player fell once, and I made fun of him for that. So tripping on stage is my favorite. Cable management, when done well, so clean.
Mhm.
Like those computer build outs. And
like it just flows. Everything just like
yes.
Oh yeah,
so clean. Team drama is always drama, and even if it's you hear things and it's like this is interesting, but this is just not fun. So that's my bottom.
That's your bottom.
Right there.
Okay. Be honest. Have you ever muted someone's mic on purpose? I actually want to hear this.
Yes.
I'm really intrigued.
Yes, I have.
I believe it.
Oh man. This was in college. I would quite often. I would quite often in college.
Context. I go to the same school he graduated from.
Yes.
And a lot of members are still there that you were there, actually.
Yes, but there have been times
How's
with
one?
volunteer teams helping lead. Our worship pastor was great and is just an incredible leader and would ensure that everyone from all ages and all points of life and different organizations inside the church would have a space to be a lead, to have that space in front of the church, in front of the congregation. And it was incredible. It's highly respectable, but that also meant sometimes that we were very aware of their capabilities. And sometimes that meant ensuring that wasn't a distraction.
Wow. Like, I want to know who. Okay, but we got to move on. But I want to know. That's so just, okay, for me, drama is number one. Okay, so that's why I want to know. And that's why I asked that question. Okay, last one for this Q&A. What's the most you think about being a big brother?
I don't know. I feel like for me, it's taking all the information of like a problem, whether that's like school or girl problems or mom and dad problems, hearing all of that, really listening to it, and then being able to break it down into, okay, so here's what's probably happening, here's how it's affecting you, and here's probably the best way to go about solving it. I don't know. I think that my ability to break down things like that is...
Yeah. He's always been more of a, let's fix it than let you live in your own delusion type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to support your delusion. He's going to say, let's fix it.
I've had enough Delulu in my own life to recognize that I have had this issue. I have seen what it has taken to get me out of this issue. So now let's solve it, fix it. I don't want to sit here. The worst thing we can do is stay exactly the way we are. If we're getting worse, we know what's causing us to get worse. If we're getting better, then that's the right direction.
Also, a lot of things he did growing up as a big brother, he would lead a lot of our activity. He was practically the main dude in charge of our entertainment.
Yeah.
So, like, we're gonna talk to you guys we're gonna tell you guys how we really started on social media, how like the technical side of social media, because there's a lot more to posting where you don't know, especially when stuff go bigger than they should, and a lot of people are coming in, and now you got to push out quality. You know,
that's something, that quality thing is something that, I mean, how much I strive for in everything that I do with all the video and audio productions that I do. Quality and just the high level of content is so important. When we first started doing videos, it was over COVID. And I mean, we were just being dumb with a phone. I mean, I don't even know how to describe that part, but we would just post funny videos. It was well before things really took off.
We would make videos like when we were really young. We would make a lot of like movies.
Just movies. And I've always loved to do dumb family things like that. And it's just always something we've done. And so we just kept doing that, but we posted it on TikTok.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anything else to do during COVID. And I remember the day we hit 10,000 followers on TikTok. I remember that day because we went to our grandparents' house and we made a thank you video in their game room. When we hit 10,000, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, that's wild.
10,000.
10,000. And 10,000 is a lot.
It's hot.
Like, let's not even joke around.
Like 10,000 people in a room. Imagine that.
The football stadium at our college holds 7,000 people.
It's huge. It's big.
It's big. And we had 10,000 people following us then.
That was just,
and that was before bots were a big issue too. It was crazy. I think at that point, we kind of just realized we've got to take this a little bit more seriously. Like, we've really got to start thinking about this. And so that's when we started transitioning into TikTok Lives.
Oh, yes.
In this room back here, because we realized we could make money on it.
Yes.
We were sending gifts. People would send gifts and bits, and we're like, this is great. And so we just started we would set the phone up and we would go live for hours,
just talking about random stuff
and talking with viewers, talking with each other, forgetting the camera was there and just doing other things. I think we even like played games with viewers for a while. We got Jackbox and we did so much. We did so much. And we finally got our first full paycheck in from TikTok Live.
TikTok Live.
It was
like 50, 70.
No, it was $120.
100. Yeah, it was.
It was $120, which was enough for us to get a ring light.
Oh yes,
and a phone stand. And that was our very first we're taking this serious now.
Media purchases,
for real purchases, and we got those. And I really think that that's when we started to think about, okay, how do we actually make these videos? How do we actually turn this into something that's good? And I think that's when we started to really perfect the style that y'all use now. And that was also when I was getting ready to go to college. And so I began to slowly step away from the creation process, because those early videos, I was in every single one, or I was holding the camera for every single one, or I was helping choose the audio for every single one and helping direct every single one. And I was really hands-on in that. And it took a little while for me to hand that off to you and your sisters. But once it handed off, I think we all kind of figured out what everything was needed. And I was able to, for a while, I handled all the email stuff. I handled a lot of that.
Oh yeah, because I still, actually, fun fact is, I still use the same password you have for that one email. All of my business actually comes with that one email, and I still use the same password. And everything. Wow, that's insane.
Oh, ridiculous.
But oh my gosh, now everything just coming back, because there's so much happening now. There's been so much stuff happening behind the scenes that I don't even talk about. There's big projects that's going on that I can't. I'm literally
talk about that yet.
Not allowed to talk
about that yet. And it's crazy
where it's all now and how it started.
And you just reposted not so long ago the very first
video that actually got the biggest views.
That got the biggest views. And comparing that to when you started your series with you making fun of mom. Thinking about those first couple of videos, I remember when our first video hit 1 million views, and it was that slap your mom. And then the next video that crossed 1 million views was one of the ones, and it was also one of the first ones that we did in the kitchen in your true walk-in style, like you normally would do. When that crossed 1 million views, we're like, that's 2 videos now. And then you had a video cross 5 million views. And then you had a video cross 15 million views. And it just kept going. And we kept getting these emails, and we started working with companies. We shot a couple commercials for a couple of things. We shot it was crazy. And this was all happening while I was a freshman in college. Y'all were figuring out how to be people in high school while trying to play sports, while trying to figure out COVID protocols. It was crazy. And it just kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going. And it got to the point where I finally was able to hand off all the email stuff to you guys. I was able to focus on work and school, and I became just a voice of reason / a resource for information and technology.
That's a lot. I went into it, and I thought I was just putting the phone up in the recording. No, there was actually a lot happening.
There's a lot. And all the writing
all the
brainstorm sessions, and
then, one of the big things that we used to share as a family, because back in the day, TikTok didn't have the transcript feature. And that was the biggest annoying thing, because somebody had to sit down and transcribe every word.
So our early YouTube videos, you going y'all's Italy trip, our cruise vacation videos, all of those, I had to word by word type in and put on the screen when it was said every time. And it just took forever, so long. Oh my gosh.
Give me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. But hey, I'm glad we went through this times though.
Right. Going from that to this now, and the things that are planned coming up that I know that's in store, it's crazy.
Let's just say there's a reason I started this podcast, the time I did. You'll see why. Yeah. But wow, there's been a lot. Oh God, that's just leaving aside. I'm I gotta move on, because I'm just thank you.
Yeah, but in going off of that, I've always had a passion for the people behind the scenes. That's who I am. There's a quote from a TV show that I really like. I don't want to be the guy. I want to be the guy that the guy counts on. So I don't want to be the one that's forward facing. I want to be the one that the guy who is forward facing can turn around and be like, hey, I need your help from this. I want to be that.
Mhm.
I've always been like that. And so I know there's a lot of people like that out there. I know that there are. I've met a lot of them, and something that is hard sometimes is you don't feel like you're making an impact. You don't feel like you're making a difference in things. But a piece of advice that was shared with me that I'd like to continue to share is, because of the hard work and time that you've put in, you've allowed the space for other people to do their job. So because of the time that I spent learning how to do videos, you were able to be funny. And because of the time that I spent learning how to make sound systems sound good, my worship pastor has been able to have a more whatever time in my current job that I'm in right now. Because of the time that I've spent learning equipment and gear and understanding how all that works, my worship pastor at our current location can just not worry about it. Everything is taken care of. So the hard work pays off in ways that are non-visible, and it's always there.
It's just wow. I bet you guys can't guess which guy I am, out of the guys. Okay, but let's wrap it up here. Kaleb, advice for people who want to be behind the scenes but make a real impact. What do you have to say? You pretty much just said it, but anything you want to add on to that?
Keep working.
Mm-hmm.
Keep working. You are seen. You are noticed every time.
Hey, things don't happen without you. Things don't happen. Things don't happen. Okay, so next question. One skill you think everybody should learn?
Learn how to solve problems. Learn how to take a breath, see everything, and then go piece by piece. That's something that isn't taught in schools and is a skill. It is a true skill, and it is very important. So that's what I think.
That's something. Okay, last question. What do you think I would be as a production director? How would I be as a?
You would just stir the pot.
I was just in the pot.
You would just stir the pot. I
would just make everybody's life.
You wouldn't get anything done. Everyone would be always upset at everyone, but no one would ever be able to walk away without their chest hurting because y'all would all laugh the whole time.
Nothing would get done, but hey,
nothing would get done.
Laughing though.
Nothing would get done.
But yeah, that's actually very accurate. Okay, so thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Absolutely. Long time coming. I actually was not expecting him to be in this podcast this week, and because he stays in Tennessee, this is my first time seeing you. How long now?
A little over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year. That's wow. Did I see Christmas?
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, that's how often. So you guys barely see him. I barely see him. We're in the same boat. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining us on the mesh. Please like, comment, subscribe. More episodes coming. We're about to start a series real soon, a relationship series, and I have a producer, director, Kaleb, coming on the podcast soon. So keep watching. Thank you guys. Have a great day.